Hey guys, I'm back. If you've never seen me before, my name is Amy. I'm 31 years old. I believe in God. I'm bipolar. And I am a crazy cat lady with three cats. Yeah. My worst qualities that I have that a lot of people have said to me in the past are overthinking, overanalyzing, and I guess you could say caring too much. Like, I don't know if that's a flaw, but I've been told that you're too nice. So I don't know what that means, but that's that's a little bit of a thing that I do as someone who, masks her disorder. It's definitely something that I cannot hide. I was diagnosed with bipolar probably when I was in my early 20s. I think I was like 22 or 23. And when I was diagnosed with bipolar, it was coming out of something that I went through traumatic. And the way that the therapist at the time explained it to me was when you go through something traumatic and you go through another thing that's traumatic, it just kind of like your bipolar was like there, but it just kind of enhanced it. So it was like surface level and then it was enhanced. And then it became full blown bipolar type 2. Why am I talking about bipolar and Christianity? Because over my faith journey, I have always felt alone because I I really mask my bipolar. A lot of times people that I've even known for a while will say, "Oh yeah, like I forgot that you had it." Because I'm like a professional masker. I don't know. I think the only time you will really truly see that side of me is if you live with me or you spend a lot of time with me. But even then, I don't always open up that part of myself to anyone. Now, what does that have to do with Christianity? Well, I believe in God, and I believe that God, has created me for a reason. And sometimes those reasons are not known to us. Sometimes we're not even supposed to know. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of times I see videos nowadays where they say, "Oh, if you have mental health, then you're a demon. Like you're not a demon, but there's demons in you," kind of thing. And to that, I wish that that were true because demons you can cast out. Mental health is not that simple. Now, I'm not going to say that Jesus has never healed anyone from their mental health because I believe that that's possible. However, um, when you are bipolar and you overanalyze everything, then you know walking walking with Jesus can be difficult because you kind of overanalyze everything that you're doing, and then you kind of step into this walk of shame kind of thing. Like, am I following the rules? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? But I feel like I'm coming here to share a little bit and say that my story is unique in its own way. And not even that, where all our stories are unique in their own way. But in a sense of like, what does it mean to be a Christian, to actually label yourself and identify as a Christian, a woman of Christ, and actually learn that being a Christian is not necessarily a label that I should be ashamed of, but I should fully embrace. And also, what does it mean to have a mental health disorder that creates chaos in your life? Needless to say, even though God is the waymaker, the peacemaker, and the one who clears us, like clears our path of self-destruction. But how do you live? Like, how do you survive? How does one, lean fully on God and trust Him when their mind is always going and my mind is always racing? I'm always having thoughts of extreme highs and extreme lows My moods can be all over the place. I can be feeling great, feeling content, feeling peace, and making decisions knowing that God is with me. Or I can be the complete opposite. And to some, I can be impulsive and in a way that's like not a good combination when you're trying to find God in everything that you do and everything that you're searching for. The thing is too is like I've always kind of lived to people please throughout my life since I was young, and I was just this massive like, if you want me to be this way, I will be anything you want me to be, just to kind of keep the peace. Now that I'm, older, like a young, well, I guess older, I guess you could say, it's not about that anymore, but it's also like, how do I identify with who I am when I feel like in my growth and on my journey, it's always felt like I'm being pulled back to square one. And when I say back to square one, it's always this epiphany moment where you're like, okay, what am I not learning? What am I not understanding? And a lot of it has to do with trust and faith in God that He will provide. But it's more than that, it's more deeper than that, because in all the years that I've, you know, experienced life, it was always me doing things my own way or creating my own, um, like being in my own way, per se. But with Jesus, it's like you have to step aside and you have to let him move and you have to let him take control of the situation. And when you step out in faith, then fear immediately hits, right? It's like we we self-sabotage what God is doing. But I honestly feel on my heart that God is doing a new thing because that's what he said. And it's like, if I said to you something and I looked you in the eye and I said, I'm doing a new thing in your life, like pretend I'm not me, I'm like God or something, but I'm in the human form. Like if God was right in front of you saying, like, I'm doing a new thing, like just watch out, just get out of the way, let me just build this little house on this rock. And you're like, what do you mean a rock? The rock is not steady ground, right? Like if it was a boulder or something. We've heard this analogy a million times that, God creates a foundation and then sometimes there's renovations and sometimes the house completely falls apart and then you got to start over. And let's be real, I have started over many times and I have, you know, always gone back to square one. But that's the thing is like, what is it in my life that I'm being called to keep going back and looking at things differently? Like, what am I missing that is like, I have to return? I have to keep returning. Like, okay, go out and do this thing. Like, Jesus is like, okay, go do your own thing, whatever. But then keep coming back and coming back and coming back. And what is it that I am not understanding is what I'm trying to figure out. I think, in all honesty, it's like Jesus is saying to me, or even to anyone watching this, it's like, if you have to keep returning to something, then you need to look at it differently. You need to have a different level of faith and trust. You need to come back with more, like, I'm feeling like strength is on my mind. Like, I'm feeling like I'm hearing strength, like, be more, I don't want to say like act more strong or be more strong, but like you're coming back to a situation stronger than what you were. And it's almost like I can come back to this and be like, okay, like, am I living a life that God is calling me to? Or am I living a life that I am trying to create but is not working? And it's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it is my life and God created my life. However, if I'm choosing to have a relationship with God, it's really a life that we're building together, right? Like, I don't know. I experienced a lot of unfortunate experiences, but at the end of the day, I don't want to look at it as I'm the victim or I'm the one who, like, woe is me. You know, like I've done that. I've done that for so long in my past where I was like, oh, but this happened, and then this happened, and then I couldn't do this. But honestly, if I just had the strength that I have now back then and just said, okay, wipe the dust off and look up to what Jesus is trying to say, what he's trying to do. It's hard to do that when you're a baby in the world, when you're fresh and you're new to trauma, or not even just trauma experiences that are not fun. Nobody knows how to handle new experiences because they're new for a reason. But if you've experienced the same thing over and over and over, the experience, the situation is not that big of a deal. Like it is a big deal still, but it's not new anymore. You're just like, okay, I've been here. What am I doing? Like, what is going on here? You know? And I want to end this video off by saying if we look into Hannah in the book of Samuel, in the beginning, Hannah is, weeping. She's not feeling good. Like her heart is she's kind of heartbroken, right? Like all she ever wanted was to bear a child. And she's married and people are kind of attacking her for not having a child. And I kind of relate to some of those things where it's like with Hannah, like I relate to Hannah because in my own life, it's like you have the pressure of people thinking or saying to me, physically saying, like, where's your husband? Where's this house? Like the expectation of where's your children? Where's this? Where's that? Oh, you don't have that yet. And I don't look at it as I'm a failure or I've done anything wrong per se, but it's almost like it's like you kind of lose faith in humanity. You lose faith in, exactly what you really truly want out of life. But in the book of Samuel, Hannah cries out to God and God delivers and he says, you know what? He gives her a child. And that is really amazing because it's like that ask and you shall receive. And it's like for me, it's like I need to ask for things with a heart full of thanksgiving, but also a heart full of knowing that I will receive it because God is so good and faithful. And I think breaking through to this negativity that I'm around in my head, it's like breaking free from old thought patterns to experiencing life to the fullest. It's like I have to dream. I have to remember what it's like to be a child and just explore the imagination of life. And I think it's important that we do this together. And I think it's important that, you know, we ask ourselves and we ask God, like, what do you want me to dream about? Like, what are the things that you want me to be excited for? Because right now I'm not feeling too excited about anything, to be honest. And yeah, and I think if you could pray for me and I could pray for you and we could, help each other out because I really could use some prayer and I could really use some guidance and love. And yeah, and let's see what happens. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, afternoon, day, wherever you are. Bye for now.